I'm Brian Cooley from CNET on Cars with another Top 5 about the way we drive. This is one we can all feel crappy about. Top 5 driving distractions, latest survey results from 2015, and the trend line of what we do more or less than a year ago. So it's an interesting snapshot of our behind-the-wheel behavior. And number 5 is going to be, oddly enough, email behind the wheel. 23% of us say we do this, and that's down 2%. Email is something where I lay the blame pretty squarely at our work styles, our 24/7, always-on job so many of us have these days. Let's face it, if you're talking to friends and family behind the wheel, messaging them, what have you, I doubt you're using email. Probably texting or using Facebook or WhatsApp or what have you, or calling them the old school way. This one to me feels like you're trying to make sure the boss isn't breathing down your neck as you're just trying to get home and get dinner on the stove. Number 4 is accessing the internet. 29% admit to this, up 3% from last year. Could be anything from looking at Facebook at a red light, Googling something screwy you just heard on talk radio, looking at someone's inane Instagram feed. All of this, I think, as inexcusable as it is, underlines how boring driving is. Bring on those self-driving cars. Number 3 is an old chestnut. It's texting. 36% admit to it, up 3% across all age groups. What do you say about this? I mean, this is the original example of your eyes, hands, and mind coming off the task of driving. Don't do it. There's 1,000 public service campaigns reminding you all the time. It's not sinking in. Okay, number 2 brings us a tie between entering destinations in GPS and talking on the phone handheld, both at 51%. We've got a change of 3% up on destination and 4% down on handheld calling, so a split direction here. The handheld calling is, of course, the original tech-driven behind-the-wheel distraction.
Find Chorley Park.
Entering destination, of course, you may say that, hey, I'm using voice to enter that destination, but a lot of cognitive studies remind us that whenever your mind's involved in such a complex task, researching, finding, and telling a machine where to go and hearing its prompts come back, make sure it got it right, you can be so disengaged mentally that you're looking through the windshield and still not even seeing what's right in front of you. Bear that in mind. Before I get you to number 1, here's the other number 1. 73% of people report listening to GPS navigation instructions. This is going to split the room. A lot of folks say, wait a minute, I thought the idea of eyes on the road, using my ears to get navigation prompts, was a good idea. It's certainly a better idea, but it's another example of how cognitive distraction can come when there's no hands or eyes involved at all. The number 1 distracting behavior we admit to doing behind the wheel is an old friend of ours talking on the phone, even though it's hands-free. 55% of us say we do this, and that's up 4%. Talking on the phone can be very distracting, even though your eyes and hands are on the road. If you're on a stressful conversation, an asinine conversation, straining to listen to one of those conference calls where everyone else is on a cell too, and you can't hear anything, you're tying up this CPU big time, and there's very little left of it to handle the driving task. Just bear that in mind. Try and keep the calls short, and if it's going to be a big deal, maybe do it after you arrive. More Top 5 lists await the car lover. Go to cnetoncars.com, click on Top 5.